Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 12 in math. It's order of operations, and today we're going to use BEDMAS to solve expressions. Part 1, Introduction. So first of all, BEDMAS stands for brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. We read it left to right according to the expression given, but I also want to take note here that for division and multiplication, if multiplication, for example, comes before it, we could do multiplication first and then division. And the same applies for subtraction or addition. So say, even though here it's written as addition and then subtraction, just so that it could help make an acronym, BEDMAS, to remember it easier. But if in the expression we're working with subtraction comes before addition, then we're going to subtract first and then add. I'll talk a little bit more about that in detail once we get with examples. But here for the introduction part, another thing I also want to note is whenever you have a negative integer after the subtraction operation, you turn them into a positive sign. So for example, 100 minus negative 16 would become 100 plus positive 16. And we talked about this in our last lesson for integers. So first of all, why do we follow order of operations? Why do we do it? So let's take a look at this example right here. 4 plus 10 times 9. So if you do 4 plus 10, which is 14, times 9, you would get 126. However, that is an incorrect answer. If you really put this expression into a calculator, you will get the answer as 94. And the reason is because we followed BEDMAS. And so, based on the acronym, we do division or multiplication before addition or subtraction. So you do 10 times 9, which is 90, and then you add 4, which is 94. So you always do repeated addition, which is multiplication, before addition, and repeated multiplication, which would be exponents, before multiplication, and so on. So here are some practice questions just with that, and I'll put the answers to these in the description box. So you can use the information from here to solve these expressions. Part 2 is practicing to solve expressions using BEDMAS. So what you would do here is, for example, 5 times, and then in brackets 7 minus 4, and that is squared. Well, what you do here is brackets first according to the acronym. So you ignore everything else, you do the brackets first, and 7 minus 4 would become 3. You rewrite everything into the way it was before, and then the next thing in the acronym is the exponent. And the exponent is on the 3, so then it's going to be 3 times 3. Remember, it is not 3 times 2. This exponent indicates that the 3 is being multiplied by itself twice. So it's 3 times 3, which is 9. And now we write it again. And then the final part is the multiplication part. So it's 5 times 9, which is 45. And then that would be your final answer. So 6 times 9 minus 2 to the power of 2. Well, here we do brackets first as well. So it's 9 minus 2, which is 7. We rewrite everything, so 6 times 7 to the power of 2. The next thing here is the exponent. And the exponent is on the 7, so 7 times 7 is 49. 6 times 49 is the multiplication part, which is left, and that would be 294 as our final answer. If we take a look at this example here, we got some division going on, but here we also have 2 brackets. So because we have 2 brackets, we're going to do it left to right. We're going to do the first one and then the second one. It doesn't really matter. You can do these in separate steps, but I'm just going to condense them into one. 6.1 times 4 is 24.4. And 16 divided by 8 is 2. Then we bring down the division sign, and the next thing left is division. So 24.4 divided by 2 would be 12.2 as our final answer. Over here we have another example. Again, we have 2 brackets, so we're going to do them. So 3.2 times 2, and then 14 divided by 7. You bring down this division sign, and then the next step is to divide. So 6.4 divided by 2 would be 3.2. Here it looks a little bit more complicated, but it's really not. It's just if you understand what steps to take, meaning if you really understand the acronym and you remember what goes after what, then any question will be easy for you. So here we have a couple brackets, and then we also have 2 exponent stuff that we have to think about as well. So first, as always, we're going to do the brackets first. So 6 minus 4 is 2. we're going to just copy the exponent, copy the subtraction sign. 6 minus 4 is 2. Copy the exponent, copy the addition sign, copy 2, and then minus. And then the final bracket was 2 minus 1, which is 1. Okay, now the next thing left is exponents. And that means we're going to do this exponent, and then we're going to do this exponent. So it's going to be 2 to the power of 3, which is 8, because it's 2 times 2 times 2. And then same thing here, 2 to the power of 3 is 8. We're going to copy the subtraction sign and bring this down as well. And now the next thing we have here is either addition or subtraction. Because we're reading it from left to right, we have subtraction first. That is what we're going to do. So 8 minus 8 is 0, and then just this part comes down. And then we have an addition, which is attached to 2, so that really means it's a positive 2, and then there's a subtraction going on. So you could do 0 plus 2 and then minus 1. You don't have to. You could just do 2 minus 1, obviously. And then the final answer will be 1. And then looking at this example, again, brackets first. So we're going to do 5 minus 2, 3, 6 plus 4 is 10, and 3 times 9 is 27. You bring down the exponents, you bring down the operation signs, and then you do the exponents. So it's 3 to the power of 3 is 27, and then 27 to the power of 2 is 729. The next thing here is multiplication. Even though addition came first, if we take a look at our acronym again, it's always division or multiplication before addition or subtraction. So we're going to do 10 times 729, which is 7,290, and we learned how to multiply with powers of 10 in our old lesson. And then also here we have 27 plus 7,290 left, and then the answer would be 7,317. Now here is a final example I would like to do with you, and then we'll move on to the practice questions. But here it looks again like it's difficult because we're dealing with fractions. Now, whenever we deal with fractions, we could reduce first, or we can complete the equation, get to the final answer, and then reduce. So it doesn't really matter. But in this case, I'm just going to show you how to do BEDMAS and focus on that, and then do any reducing later on. So again, brackets are first, so we're just going to treat this like a regular, BEDMAS, order of operations expression. So brackets are first, so 3 times 1 and then 6 times 2, and we talked about how to multiply and divide fractions in older lessons. So again, this would become 3 over 12. The next line here is 6 over 9 divided by 3 over 12. Now, if you remember, based on our last few lessons on fractions, it was whenever you are dividing fractions, you have to flip the second one. So in this case, it would be you would flip the 3 over 12, and then you would change the division sign to multiplication. So that is what we're going to be doing here. So it becomes 6 over 9 times 12 over 3, and then you have 6 times 12 is 72, and 9 times 3 is 27. So now we have 72 over 27, but to get the final answer, we want to reduce it. So how you would reduce it, like I said earlier, you could reduce first. I'm just going to reduce at the end, just so it's easier for you to see everything else with BEDMAS. But it's 72 over 27. You can see both of these numbers are divisible by 3. We talked about divisibility in one of the first few lessons. So they're both divisible by 3. 72 divided by 3 is 24, and then 27 divided by 3 is 9. However, 24 and 9 are also divisible by 3. So what we're going to do here is 24 divided by 3 is 8, and then 9 divided by 3 is 3. You could leave your final answer as an improper fraction like you see here, or you can change it to a mixed fraction, which would be 2 and then 2/3. So here are some practice questions for you to try out. I will put the answers to all of these, again, the final answers, just because showing them step by step would be too much. But the final answers will be in the description box, and see how much you can do. Like, would it be enough for you up to 4, or could you do all the way to question 8? So thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully this all made sense. I tried to condense all the information of BEDMAS or order of operations into one short lesson, and hopefully it helped you. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.